What's up everybody, Lucio here, and of course we're back with OMSI 2, because where else would you want to be on the release day of OMSI London? It was definitely a very hectic release, thanks to a game-breaking bug being found at the last minute, which delayed the release by about 5.5 hours, but we're here now, and we're ready to go. My first impressions are really good, very positive, definitely a massive improvement, especially visually, over the South London project. Not sure what's going on with the arch though. I mean, I have found quite a few sort of bugs and glitches all around the place, but I have no doubt that will be fixed within the coming weeks. Just watch out for sort of traffic lights where vehicles go through red lights, like what was just happening there, and just some AI pathing and priority issues that have sort of crept up sort of all over the map. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of that will be fixed, hopefully sooner rather than later. So before I jump into the new Route Master and get started here, just like to congratulate the two giveaway winners once again, Stephen and Matthew, who were randomly selected last night. Commiserations to everybody else, but thank you so much for the support. The giveaway was very well received, so I'll definitely try to make them more of a regular thing on the channel. But yeah, let's get started and jump into the new Route Master. So I think I tried about 5 times to record Route 159 there from Marble Arch, but unfortunately it's not quite working out. I think there seems to be an issue with the blinds for the 159 at the moment. So anyway, what I've done, I've flown over to Oxford Street at the Cavendish Square terminus, and we're going to drive Route 3, mainly just to show you how to set up the new Route Master as well, because there is quite a particular way of doing things. So jump in, and as always turn on your electrics. You will then have to wait 5 seconds at least before you can turn the engine on, so we'll just quickly choose a timetable. We won't drive too far. This is literally just to kind of get used to it, show you how to operate the doors, that kind of thing. So let's start. We'll start with this one. So now you can turn your engine on in the normal way. The sounds do sound really good, by the way. It's just very quiet, so you don't really hear it unless you're in a particular passenger view, so hopefully they make them a bit louder. But yes, when it comes to setting your blinds, do not use the 9.2e menu, because if you do that, they will just sort of keep spinning and spinning and eventually just remain blank. So what you want to do is come up here, use this up arrow here to choose your route, so we want the Route 3, then press the blue button, which is the enter button, and then again with the arrows to choose your destination. So we're going to go to Lambeth Bridge. I think the only thing is I tried this earlier and it seemed like no one wanted to get on the bus, so I am going to put Crystal Palace, even though we'll stop at around sort of Westminster Bridge Road, Lambeth North Station. So then press enter again, and then you should see that your blinds begin to spin. They've definitely recreated this quite well. I'm a big fan of this. And yeah, that will keep going anyway until it finds the blind that it wants. But yeah, other than that, you are ready to go. The new Route Master does look really, really good. That has again been remade very well. But yes, let's move off. This bus is very different to drive to normal buses, especially if you use keyboard like I do. So as soon as you take your finger off the accelerate button, which I've done there, it begins to brake by itself. As you can see, it's literally just brought itself to a stop without me sort of having to do anything. And when you're braking, you don't need to hold down the brake button anymore. You just kind of press it once, and then press it again if you want to brake a bit faster, and again to brake faster, but you don't need to hold it down like you usually would. Some turnings are definitely quite narrow, more so than they would be in real life, I've noticed. As you can see it here, for example, it's almost impossible to do that turn, so I'm not even going to waste time trying. But for the most part, everything has been remade very, very realistically. It's just a case of getting used to driving the new Route Master for me, I think. What we might do as well, just to make sure I don't miss any stops, is just leave the route markers on, because some of them are quite confusing. But yes, let's see if we can pick up our first passengers, and then I'll show you how to operate the doors, just for those of you who might still be confused. Okay, not a good sign that nobody wants to get on, but we do have our destination set correctly. No, we don't. Okay, for some reason, so this is something that keeps happening as well. It set itself to Oxford Circus instead of Crystal Palace, and I'm not too sure why it's been doing this. Crystal Palace? Is that not? Did I choose Oxford Circus? No, see, it doesn't want to change. Don't know why. What's the back? 3. Okay, not really sure what's going on there. Like I said, there are some glitches. Hopefully all of this kind of thing will be fixed. What if we go for Kennington Church now? Ah, now it's jumping back. That's interesting. I wonder if it will now go to Kennington Church. Let's open the doors anyway, so apply your handbrake as normal, which I have already done. Then if you press your bus stop brake, that will open all 3 doors. When you want to close the doors, then you actually use, so the front door button will close the front door, and then your middle door button, if you press it twice, it will close both doors.
3, 2, Kennington Church.
Like so. And yeah, if you want to reopen, you can't open one door at a time, much like the new Route Master in real life, at least before it was modified. So you just press that bus stop brake button and they will all open. So we have now got Kennington Church up, but I want to change it back, if I can, to Crystal Palace, just to make sure that people will actually get on.
3, 2, Kennington Church.
So I think eventually that will start spinning back, but let's just go to the next stop for now and let that do its thing. As I was moving around, you may have noticed it sort of freezing a bit. That's just OMSI being OMSI. I think performance of the map is pretty good, especially considering where we are right now and how many AI vehicles there are in central London. It is running pretty well, and everywhere looks really good and realistic. There's a 139, which of course has gone back to Metroline in reality. I believe the map is based on 2017, roughly. Some of those street ends are a bit close to sort of the user drivable areas. That's the only bad thing that I would say. Let's see if we can get out here. Also try to do some external driving.
Conduit Street, Hamley's Toy Store.
So, have my blinds changed? Ah, no. They're stuck. Okay, on Oak Park, wherever that is. Not sure why, what I might actually do, although you're not supposed to. Let's just try and do it on here. But I suspect, yeah, it's going to make them blank. But it might let people get on, so if people get on, I'll just have to leave it and deal with it, unfortunately. So one example with odd AI pathing. Unless the 139 doesn't use this bus stop, and that's why it just switched out of the bus lane, but a little bit strange. What have we got in front of us? 159. Ah, okay. It has actually now gone free to Crystal Palace, but Doesn't look like anyone's gonna get on unless I'm currently too far away. Okay, this bus isn't gonna move, so I'm gonna do something that I shouldn't be doing. Always drive with collisions off, by the way. I just want to see if I get closer with these people want to get on my bus. Okay, no, I guess not. Oh, yeah, they are. Okay. I wouldn't usually be stopped in between buses, but I just wanted to make sure the blinds are working. So let's quickly drive off and pretend that didn't happen.
Three, two, Crystal Palace.
So it is weird that I used the 92E menu there and the blinds actually worked, but they do recommend that you don't do that because usually it doesn't work. But I think what it did in my case was it kind of made it refresh to what I had actually selected on the Mobitech. The Citybus 400, which you just heard there, does sound a lot better than the C400R. It's definitely much improved. So I will try that out at some point, but I think my next video will be probably the full length of Route 12. I think that's the one I'll do next. And then after that, I'll do Route 3, because they were the two routes that most people wanted to see. So I think what I might do is Route 12 in the new Route Master, and then Route 3 in the Evo SETI. I think that would be quite good. And in those videos I won't speak, so I'll be driving a lot better than I am in this video. Although I have already kind of got used to how to drive this bus now, I think. Whereas when I first started I was absolutely terrible. But yeah, like I said, it's very different from how you'd usually drive.
3, 2, Crystal Palace. Haymarket, Charles II Street.
Around this area is where you'll see sort of roads that are a lot more narrow than they are in real life. But again, look, it's not a major issue. Just drive with collisions off and you'll be fine. Aside from that, it does look good. I believe this is Europe's largest digital billboard, if I remember correctly, which has been recreated very nicely. This is a perfect example of a street end that's way too close to where the user would be. Also very odd that I have no AI traffic at the moment. I had quite a lot earlier. That's weird. I'm sure we'll see some shortly. See if I can make it down here. I'm sure most of you, or at least a lot of you, are already sort of playing OMSI London yourself, so it'd be good to know what your first opinions are as well and how you've been finding it so far. Okay, seems no one wants to get on here. Oh, never mind, spawned at last minute. A lot of the early access people complained about the emergency vehicles and how there were way too many of them, but they've definitely adjusted that now because I haven't really seen that many, so it's been absolutely fine. So I think they're sort of at that right balance now, which is good. Here is the best example actually of a road that's very tight. It's turning into there. I mean, yes, it's tight in real life, but it's definitely a lot tighter in OMSI than it is in reality. Thought that was odd that the bus was indicating when it can't actually come down here. Oh, we now have some AI vehicles that have joined us. That's nice. I think I just made that turning for the first time actually. And now we are at Charing Cross Station. This is actually where I work in real life, so I know this area quite well. So one thing I didn't yet look at is how late are we? Okay, we're currently 2 minutes late, which is what this shows.
Crystal Palace.
We've also got your 2 CCTV cameras up there, which is very nice. And you can play announcements through here as well.
The next bus stop is
It's not actually closed, but
Whitehall, Trafalgar Square.
there's another street end there that's a bit closer than I think it should be. Just a bit too obvious. I mean, you could probably maybe change that to a building rather than some green luminous trees and it mightn't look so bad. That one's a building, it doesn't look too obvious from here, so it's not too bad. But yeah, if you go here you can scroll through to different pages. Some of them don't work at the moment in terms of
This bus will wait a short time for a change of drivers to take place.
they play different announcements to what you actually click on. But other than that, very good, very nice recreation. I believe Studio Polygon have actually made their own iBus system to put in their Enviro 400 and Streetlight, which will be out shortly. The horn is very loud. It seems a little bit high pitched to me actually. I don't know if you guys might agree or disagree with that. Oh, did not expect that to happen. Nice to finally see some people using the middle door. We've also, oh, where are we? Got quite a few AI buses there. I didn't really show it properly earlier, but Trafalgar Square actually looks pretty good. And the National Portrait Gallery as well. Well, I was saying there was no AI traffic just a few minutes ago. Now look at it. It's absolutely everywhere. Definitely looks more like London now. I do love the all-over adverts as well. I'll definitely be making some of my own over the weekend. But yes, let's get moving. Where's that? Is that coming this way? There was an example of cars going through red lights. You'll see that quite a bit over the map, and hopefully that gets fixed soon.
Whitehall, Horse Guards Avenue. Watch out for traffic when leaving the bus.
Ooh, freezing a bit there. Performance as a whole is pretty good for me, but I would expect it to be because I do have a pretty good computer, having only upgraded recently. So that's again a thing where I'd be interested to see how everybody else is finding it so far.
2, Crystal Palace.
Now I've just remembered that the Route 3 doesn't actually go across Westminster Bridge Road, so we'll have to go on an impromptu diversion, I think, to make that happen. Which will be a good example of using the iBus announcements anyway. But yeah, Whitehall is looking really good as well. I'm really happy. I do wish that there was more of central London. I know originally we were going to have the whole stretch up from Aldwych to sort of Euston and King's Cross, and I think that would have been really good, but I'm still very happy to just see Addon London. Still a large map, there's so much to cover and I've barely seen any of it so far, so I'm sure there'll be enough to last a very long time.
Crystal Palace.
Should we get some external driving here? hopefully without crashing. Brixton Station is usually a stop that's got a lot of people, or at least it did in the South London project. So it'll be interesting to see that now, using this bus that's got 3 sets of doors and 2 staircases, to see if it's a lot quicker to stop there. I mean, I'm sure it will be. But yes, let's announce this diversion. We're going to take you all down the route of the 12 and 159 instead. And here you can see Parliament Square. Again, fantastic recreation, looks really good. Especially the House of Commons. Or, well, should say House of the Parliament. Elizabeth Tower, Big Ben. Looking very nice indeed. I'm quite a fan of the AI as well. I do wish they had the electric taxi. And also a Tesla Model 3 if they're going to make electric cars. When I went to central London recently, there were Teslas everywhere. I might have to add in the Hong Kong Tesla Model S, I believe, which I had on my my usual AI pack. I might add that in, just to change things up a bit. And then here's the London Eye, which again looks good. Love what Reese has done with the backdrops as well. I think that looks really good. Oh, freezing a bit there. So it's not actually a bridge in a building over there. It's just a backdrop, but it looks good from afar. Weirdly, they don't have it on the other side though. Noticed that earlier. But maybe that's something that will be added. There's the Evo SETI, which seems to be one of the favourite buses so far actually. So I do look forward to trying that. I think I'll do Route 12 in the new Route Master, and then Route 3 in the Evo SETI. And they'll be sort of my 2 upcoming videos. So do watch out for them. But yeah, I think we'll end, well, if it stops freezing. That freezing of course is just tile loading, which you'll always get with OMSI, and it might take a little bit longer with Addon London just because of the amount of scenery and so on that's on the map. But yeah, I think we will end that quick drive here. Hopefully that just sort of gives you my first impressions of the map for anyone who's still thinking of buying it, who hasn't already bought it. And in my next video I'll do a much longer route. So yeah, thanks for joining me, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.